All right, we're going to go ahead and get started to respect everyone's time. Welcome to Driving Small Businesses the Distance. And today we'll be covering CTA compliance, do's, don'ts, and musts. So our agenda for today is you'll be hearing from me, Chanel Harmon, from the Diversity Programs Department, and then I'll pass it on to Kamaria Gross from our Compliance Department. Hello, everyone. My name is Chanel Harmon, Coordinator for Small Business Development and Outreach. I'm also joined on the call by Misty Brown, who is the Manager for Small Business Development and Outreach.
Good morning.
The CTA Diversity Programs Department is designed to give certified small businesses an opportunity to bid as primes on CTA contracts. Under the program, select contracts are set aside for small businesses to bid on as prime contractors. If you are certified as a DBE with one of the 4 Illinois Unified Certification Program members, you are considered an SBE. CTA only accepts the DBE certification from CTA, the Illinois Department of Transportation, PACE, Metra, and the City of Chicago. Our workforce initiatives. We work with our workforce partners, Hire 360 and Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, to provide training and apprenticeships to individuals interested in the trades. Many of these participants work on CTA projects like the RPM. We also offer a mentor protege program. The Mentor Protege Program was created to enhance the capability of DBE firms and increase opportunities for DBE participation on CTA contracts. We also offer technical assistance in the form of contracting strategies. This involves helping the firm identify which contract is right. Next, we have market research. This involves market research. This involves identifying where the opportunities lie. And then we offer marketing to the primes. We host various outreach meetings on smaller firms so are able to connect with primes working on CTA contracts. Next, we have access to capital. We offer access to capital through our Building Small Businesses program. The Building Small Business program offers cash flow resources to our firm so they're able to operate on our CTA projects. Then we have educational resources. We offer our Small Business Educational Series, which is a 9-week cohort taught by industry leaders. Some of the topics covered are project management, safety, and budgeting, just to name a few. There are various ways for you to connect with us through outreach events such as this one. The Diversity Programs Department also welcomes one-on-one consultations. The Diversity Programs Department is your #1 advocate. We want to hear from you, so feel free to reach out to any team member. We also have a DBE Advisory Committee. The DBE Advisory Committee is where concerns of DBE firms are addressed and recommendations for operational and administrative improvements are made. We also encourage you to attend our pre-bid meetings. This is where you get in-depth scope of work for specific contracts that you may be interested in bidding on. This is the opportunity for you to talk specifically to procurement administrators who are overseeing the contracts so you can get all your questions answered before you submit your bid. Feel free to also connect with us on social media, whether it be Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. As I previously mentioned, we encourage you to register as a CTA vendor because we specifically set contracts aside for our DBE firms. So the more DBE firms that we have in a specific category, when setting aside these contracting opportunities, the better. So we always encourage you to register as a CTA vendor and consider obtaining the DBE certification. CTA only accepts the DBE certification. We also encourage you to review current solicitations through our bonfire portal. This is where you get up-to-date current up-to-date look at what opportunities are currently out on the street. And next, we encourage you to take a look at our buying plan. This is a look ahead of opportunities to come down the pipeline so you're able to prepare for them. And next, I'll pass it along to Kamaria Gross from our Diversity Programs Department.
Thank you, Chanel. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kamaria Gross. I'm the Senior Compliance Specialist in the CTA Diversity Programs Department, and I will be going through the compliance section today. Okay, so the first thing that I'll go over is the prompt payment. So CTA has what is called a prompt payment clause. And the prompt payment clause is what would be in your contract, and it states how CTA regulates the payments. It says the contractor is required to pay each first-tier subcontractor for all work that the subcontractor has performed to the satisfaction of the CTA no later than 14 days after the contractor has received payment from CTA for that work. And each tier of subcontractors must likewise pay the next lower tier of subcontractors within 14 calendar days after receiving payment. The contractor agrees to include these assurances in all subcontracts and require its subcontractors to include these assurances in their subcontracts. So you will see this prompt payment clause in your contract, and it is enforceable, and we want to make sure that all of our contractors are understand what the prompt payment clause is. Okay. Another way that we monitor the prompt payment is through what is called the B2G Now system of record. That is the diversity compliance software system where you will go in and report your payments, and then your subcontractors will approve them and so forth and so forth. The second tier, third tier, if you have those on the contract. We also have what's called a prompt payment affidavit. The prompt payment affidavit is a document that anyone on the compliance team, if they're monitoring your contract, you'll be assigned to a compliance specialist, and they may need to get additional information from you regarding the contract. And so at any time during the life of the contract, we can request what is called a prompt payment affidavit. The next thing that we do to monitor the prompt payments are desk audits. Desk audits are generally done on a quarterly basis. However, if need be, we can do them more than that, but generally they're done on a quarterly basis, and we will be requesting certain information, maybe reaching out to you in regards to your contract payments, things of that nature. Okay. So the B2G Now system, this system is at no cost to any of our contractors. It is the online reporting of the subcontractor utilization. You can have multiple user accounts for each contractor. So if it's more than one person in the office working on that, you can have multiple user accounts. The data is collected in a standard format. And anytime that you log into the system, it is at real-time goal attainment status. So everything will always be up to date and where it is at that point. The system also has online trainings. We recommend that our contractors take those trainings, let your staff take the trainings. They're very useful, very helpful. And it'll give them a better understanding of how to navigate the B2G system. Okay, so this is basically kind of the overview of what happens when a payment drops into the system. It starts off with the first of the week. The prime, you're notified by email. The prime enters the payment data for the subs. Then the subs are notified by email. And then the subcontractor, confirms or rejects the payment. So if you confirm the payment, the sub confirms the payment, is nothing else that needs to be done. If they do reject the payment, what is a discrepancy? is basically fielded through the system. And then the compliance specialist that's assigned to the contract will basically try to rectify the discrepancy. So they may call you, the prime, they may call the sub, they may ask for additional information. And then once that discrepancy is resolved, the compliance specialist will update that in the system. Okay, so when you're going to the B2G Now page, this is going to be the first page that you see. As you can see, it's going to have your login information. That's pretty straightforward. That's where you click to log in. But you want to make sure you pay attention to all of the fields that are on there. As I was talking about the trainings are going to be on the login page. That's where you'll go to do the trainings. Vendor certifications. That's an area where you can look for, it's our certified directory where you can look for certified vendors. There's the iSupplier portal registration is on the top of the page, the Illinois UCP directory, and the business diversity account access. That's where if you need to look up your account, if you forgot your password, this is basically the page for all administrative things. So you want to make sure that you, are going to this page when you're logging into the system. Okay. So the first step is to add subcontractors. This is going to be, when you log into the system, this is going to be the first page that you see. So the first step you want to do is you want to add your subcontractors. Prime contractors and contractors that have subcontractors will click on the red links to view their assigned contracts. You also want to make sure that you are clicking, if you have multiple contracts with CTA or sometimes with other city agencies, use this system as well, but you want to make sure you're clicking on the correct contract for your CTA contracts. Okay. Once you see the list of your assigned contracts, click on the view for the contract that you need to add subcontractors to. Okay. Next, you're going to click on the subcontractor tab and then click on view subcontractors. Next, you're going to click on add your first tier subcontractor. And then this is going to be the information where you're going to fill out the form with the subcontractor information, and you want to pay special attention to the percent, amount, the type of participation, and the subcontract award and commit date. Okay, so this page is where you're going to more administrative type things. You can add your work codes here. You can also put the where you're going to add the subcontractor to the audits, or the first audit will be starting at the point that you enter this information into the system. There's going to be the award and commit date, as we talking about, the start date, end date. All of those things are going to be extremely important for you to have those dates in correctly, because the system is going to field it based off the dates that you say that the subcontractor is going to start work on the project. Okay. Once a prime is notified via email, they will log into the system using your URL and review their dashboard, which will allow incomplete audits. To enter incomplete audits information, the prime will click on the red links from their dashboard. Okay. Once you click to view the incomplete audits, a listing of those audits will appear. Click on the red link again to view the audit period. Okay. When the audit period opens, click on the red link in order to report subcontractor payments. Payments for subcontractors can be entered in one quick update or per sub, one by one. After 4 easy steps, the prime contractor completed their audit. It is now the subcontractor's turn. So the subcontractor will also receive an email notification when an audit populates in the system, and they log in, just like the prime contractor, and they'll click the red links through their dashboard to do their incomplete audits. Okay. So on the audit page, the subcontractor will see the information entered by the prime, and they will respond to the information reported by the prime, in addition to payment amount, such as prompt pay dates, the final payment, and the withholding of retainage. The subcontractor can also attach files, enter public comments, or private comments. Confirmations of all entries by both the prime and the sub are sent out. Okay, so this is the prompt payment affidavit document that that I was speaking about earlier. As you can see, it lists detailed information about the contract. We have one for the primes as well as the subs, and you will have to get this document notarized. Okay, I believe that this one, this is this is how the DBE subcontractor affidavit looks. So you want to just make sure as a prime contractor, if you're a prime, that you notify your subcontractors that we can request these documents. And as a subcontractor, you will have to submit information if requested. Okay. So the next portion that I'm going to speak about are the desk audits. So CTA compliance staff conducts desk audits on contracts with DBA participation at quarterly milestones. So during the desk audit, the compliance staff will request canceled checks for the 2 most recent audit periods. So that's some of the information that we'll request on the desk audit. Okay. Commercially useful function. So the commercially useful function is kind of what governs commercial useful function site visits. And so as you can see, we're governed by 49 CFR part 26.55. It says the DBE performs a commercially useful function when it is responsible for execution of the work of the contract and is carrying out its responsibilities by actually performing, managing, and supervising the work involved. To perform a commercially useful function, the DBE must also be responsible with respect to materials and supplies used on the contract for negotiating price, determining quality and quantity, ordering the material, and installing where applicable, and paying for the material itself. So that is kind of what governs the commercially useful function site visits that we do. As stated, when we come out on the compliance site visits, we will request certain documents more than likely before the site visit starts. And we also do perform site visit interviews, whether those are going to be virtual or in person. Okay. We also monitor labor compliance. So labor compliance is basically on all of our construction projects, So basically what governs the labor compliance site visits is what's called the Davis-Bacon Act, which is a federal act. And then also the Illinois Prevailing Wage Act. The way that we monitor our labor compliance is through the LCP tracker system, which is the system of record for this. And we also do labor compliance site visits. And we'll come out on the site and we will interview the workers and ask them information in regards to the position that they are working on that particular contract. Okay, So with the labor compliance, as I was stating, this is a totally different system from the B2G compliance. The labor compliance system, LCP tracker, is what is going to be the system where your workers will be reporting their payrolls. So once again, this is through the federal, governed by the Federal Davis-Bacon Act and Illinois Prevailing Wage Act. So this is going to be the front screen that you will see when you are logging into the LCP tracker system. You'll have a username and password. Okay, the labor compliance LCP tracker system, once again, it is at no cost to our vendors. It's the online reporting of our certified payroll. Data is collected in a standard format as well. It is compatible with various financial and record keeping systems. So if you have those type of systems with your business, they're pretty much compatible. So you can upload information through your systems into the LCP tracker system. And then the LCP tracker system also provides online trainings that are very helpful for your subcontractors. And so you want to make sure that you utilize those tools with this system as well. Okay, so the first step when you are going into the LCP tracker system is to upload your payrolls, and you want to make sure you're adding your employees. So this is very important to add the employees. You're going to click on the setup tab, and then you're going to click add edit employees. Okay, you're going to fill out the employee information, and what you're going to do is you're going to pay special attention to the date hired, the hiring source, and the disadvantaged boxes. You want to make sure that all of this information is filled out, because this is going to be information that is pulled up on reports and things of that nature. And we want to make sure we have the most accurate information on your employees. Okay, next, you need to set up your subcontractors. Again, in the setup tab, click subcontractor setup. Okay, click on subcontractor assignment. And then click add new assignment. You want to fill out this form, paying special attention to the start date. You want to make sure that you put the correct start date that the subs started work, because if you do not do that, then you will get flagged in the system for like incomplete payrolls. So you want to make sure that the start date is as accurate as it can be. We can always adjust it, but you just want to let us know if that date needed to be adjusted. Okay, now it's time to submit your payroll. First, you want to click on payroll records tab and either enter the records or upload the records. You have a choice of which one you want to do. Okay, if entering payrolls, fill out the form, paying close attention to the classification. This is very important. You want to make sure that the workers are, whatever position that they're working in, you're putting in the correct classification for that. After selecting an employee, you want to input their hours worked for the week selected. Okay, this next screen, yes, this is where you're gonna, is basically how it's gonna look, where you can include the vacation, holiday dues, the health and welfare, pension, anything that relates to this employee and their pay, as well as their fringe benefits. This is the benefits section at the top. You want to make sure that you put all of that information in correctly, because if you don't, the system is going to flag it and say that it's not correct. So this is a very, it's kind of tedious, but it's very important that you get all of this information accurate. Okay. Once you save, the system will prompt you to enter another record for a different employee. Once completed, make sure to check the notices tab. After clearing all notices, click on 3, which is certification tab, and you're going to complete the form. Then you're going to e-sign your payroll and save. Okay, so that was kind of basically an overview of how you will go in and enter your payrolls. Next, I'm going to talk about labor compliance, the actual site visits. So as I was speaking about, compliance staff will perform a site visit to all the construction projects at least once a month. We will interview about 20% of the workforce present when we're on site. So we probably, we're probably won't interview everyone, but at some point we will get all of the employees as we're coming out every month. Please instruct your employees to be cooperative. A lot of times we got on sites and the employees are, they don't want to complete the site visits because they don't know what we're there for and that sort of thing. So if you can give your employees a heads up and just let them know we're from CTA, and the compliance site visits are a requirement of them working on the construction site, and that we're just coming out to ask them information in regards to the position that they're working on site. Okay, here are some compliance best practices. So you want to make sure you enter your subcontractors as early as possible. You want to enter payments based on the invoice paid. So you want to just make sure that you're just entering the payments based on what you were paid. Don't try to predict anything. Just do it based on what you were paid from CTA. You want to provide payment details in the comment section. This is great because it can give us more detail on, what type of payment, what was going on. You want to make sure to just be as detailed as possible. You want to make sure you enter your payrolls on a weekly basis. That is a requirement. A lot of times we do understand that contractors get backed up. However, you don't want to get too backed up. If you do, call your compliance specialist and let them know what's going on, because if not, you will get notices from the system. You might get phone calls, emails from your compliance specialists who are monitoring the contract. So you want to make sure you keep up with them on a weekly basis. You want to ensure your subcontractors are submitting payrolls. This is very important. A lot of times prime contractors don't really monitor their subcontractors' payrolls. They kind of leave it up to CTA compliance to monitor their subcontractor payrolls. We want to make sure that the primes know that the subcontractors are working for you. So you want to make sure that they understand that they need to submit their payrolls in a timely fashion. Okay, you want to respond to discrepancies, any type of discrepancies in the system, so we can make sure that we're on the same page as that. Make sure you respond to those in a timely fashion. And you want to respond to late certified payroll emails. That's what I was speaking about earlier. We send out a report every week to all of our late certified payroll. So anything that's after a week old, you will get some type of notification that your payrolls are late. If there's any issues, you want to communicate early. You can always contact your compliance specialist. If we are not able to handle the issue, we will shoot it up to our management and up the chain in our department. So you just want to make sure if there's any issues to communicate early. And that is the end of the presentation. Chanel,
all right, thank you.
Question.
Thank you, Kamaria. So I see a lot of you have already started entering your questions in the Q&A box. So I'm going to go ahead and start with those. And as you think of any additional questions, feel free to use the chat box, Q&A, or if you're comfortable, feel free to unmute yourself. So the first question that we have is, do you need to use the affidavit in addition to B2G?
Do you need to use it in addition to? So no. So B2G, you'll always have to use B2G to monitor your payments. The prompt payment affidavit form is just something that if we need additional information from the primes or the subcontractors, we may request you to fill out that document. So that's just something that's additional to B2G. You may or may not ever have to fill out one, but if we did request that form, we will let you know.
Okay, our next question is canceled checks. It says, are electronic checks that are from your online bank accounts accepted?
I believe so. So with the canceled checks, we know that everybody has different type of banking systems. So yes, we work really with all of the banking systems that our contractors have. So yes, to answer your question, yes, that's fine.
Okay, our next question is, are there contracts for marketing and communications firms? So I'm going to put, as I previously mentioned in the presentation, the best way to find out about current solicitations as well as opportunities that are forthcoming is to check out our bonfire page as well as our buying plan. So I'll also include that link in the chat. And in addition to that, everyone on the presentation will also receive a copy of this via email. Okay, our next question is, you mentioned that most timekeeping systems can be used to upload the certified payroll, correct?
Yes. So we know that a lot of our contractors use different financial systems. And so instead of you having to type everything, you should be able to just upload the information into LCP Tracker from whatever financial reporting system that you use. Most times it's like accounting departments that kind of handle the payroll. So yeah, whatever reporting system you use for your financial accounting department, generally you can upload those right into LCP Tracker.
Okay, there's like a part 2 to that question. And it says, or we will have to use the LCP Tracker to do it individually for each employee to this system for auditing.
Yes, that's correct. If you don't have like a financial reporting system where you can upload the information, you will have to go in and like hand type that information into the LCP Tracker system. It gives you I think I went over, it gives you the option to either input the information or upload the information. So you would just put, you would select the option that works best for you.
Okay, we had a question in the chat. Can we receive a copy of this recording? Yes, this will be uploaded to our CTA YouTube page. So it's CTA Doors Opening. So yes, this will be on our YouTube page. So if there aren't any additional questions, this concludes our webinar for today. Thank you for attending.